me see here. Yeah, we're live. Hey guys, we got Missy Hill with us. It's gonna be a night recap. We're gonna do is talk about some really cool stuff. So buckle up. I'm gonna play the intro and we'll get started. And it should be a fun. And then I always just put this up every time, guys. You know, it's working because a lot of you are subscribing. So it's just like a handshake. If you want to watch the content, just subscribe. You know, like subscribe on YouTube or subscribe on Rumble, and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And yeah, hit the thumbs up. If you hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up on here and on Rumble as well, because it makes a difference. It really does, guys. And you know, my guest tonight is my good friend Missy Hill. She's a paranormal historian, gridworker, longtime experiencer of high strangeness. She's ran paranormal tours and UFO night tours. She has years of research and direct contact. She's going to be exploring tonight the edge of abductions, dream phenomena, and hidden technologies, and we'll also be revealing insights into the alien abductions in the dream state, artificial spiritual teachings, including the holographic Jesus, AI mimicry, and timeline manipulation. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing show. So I'm glad everybody's here. Missy, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you? And happy Labor Day.
Good. You know, I can't believe it was just 9 days ago, but since 9 days when I was in Georgia, I was in White, Georgia, which is near Roswell, Georgia, Roswell, Georgia. And, you know, drove through parts of North Carolina, Chateau Lake. I was in Hot Springs, North Carolina. I was in Black Mountain, and now I'm in my old stomping grounds, my old house in Fletcher that our friends bought. So it's just been a wild ride, and I just feel like I need to show you this because they've got some interesting artifacts in this place, and some of these tools that I use are gifts that I gave to my friends. I'll share that, but this Colorado cup that I'm drinking out of, and then I found this because they went to the Stanley Hotel. Look at this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Wow. Tell the people a little bit about the Stanley Hotel for people that don't know.
Well, if you saw the movie The Shining, you know, and all that stuff, that's what it is, where the movie The Shining was filmed.
Yeah.
And there's a whole conspiracy around, you know, the whole thing about the moon landings, that they were decoding the moon landings and, you know, whether, you know, the whole thing was faked and that it was in the can ahead of time, that, you know, Stanley Kubrick actually filmed it.
Well, that's weird that the hotel was called the Stanley and Stanley Kubrick filmed it. And, you know, there's tells in that too, in the movie, like, they say that the little kid in the movie is wearing an Apollo 11 sweatshirt.
Right.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
And there's numerical tells too that give away that Kubrick was saying something about the moon landing, that he faked it or something like that. You know?
Yeah, that he faked it. Yeah, exactly. And you know where I always thought that it was done? I always thought it was done in Meteor Crater in Arizona, because if you go out to Meteor Crater, it looks like the moon to me.
Wow.
Yeah. So this kind of continues our stuff with the desert and the things that we were talking about. Well, here's some of the other tools. I gave her this, Jessica this, and, you know, we're going to talk about these guys tonight. This is one of these things that you can wish. Let's see if it works for you, Rob, if you have a question, and see if I get a yes or a no. Doesn't seem to be working when I played with it, though. Let's... I can't read it. I think it's a okay, maybe. It's like a maybe. A maybe. For whatever we ask, it's a maybe.
Oh, you know what I used to have? I used to have a magic 8-ball back in the day. Is that kind of like that?
That's what this is. But for some reason, with this blue liquid in here, you can't see it very well. Yeah, I've got a few rabbit holes I want to go down before we even get into the dream phenomena. One of them being the... you know what I woke up thinking about? Do you remember the telethon, the Jerry Lewis telethon?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember that back when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that. And one friend of mine told me there was a whole thing around the reason it stopped is because they knew there was a cure for that muscular dystrophy. I don't know, but I know that Jerry Lewis, he was actually born in Newark, New Jersey in, what was it, 1926, and he died in Las Vegas in 2017, but he stopped doing it in like 2010. I don't know. I was just thinking about that because, you know, a lot of times kids would go back to school. I always went back to school after Labor Day. Now it's all over the place. The kids get off earlier, all that stuff. But you know, this whole thing about the 3-1 or 3-eye atlas has been on my mind. So not only did I ask Ray to do a reading, which, you know, something happened with the technology at the end of that, but I've been decoding that because I listened to, first of all, I listened to a woman that came on my radar from a friend of mine who I reconnected with. I hadn't seen in a while. She turned me on to a lady that's a nurse or in the medical field, but is like a psychic and a seer and all this stuff. Her name is Nancy Rebecca. And I think she's connected to Pam Gregory, who's some astrology. I don't know well, but the reason I listened to her is this whole thing about blue light and her seeing blue light around people's navels, because this whole thing with blue light therapy and the picture of this comet coming in, a lot of the pictures that people are taking are blue. My friend Jason, when he's been filming these UFOs, it's blue. I mean, for whatever reason, whether he's making it blue or it is blue, because through night vision, it's supposed to be green. It's not supposed to be blue. Blue is the opposite color on the spectrum. So if it was coming from the navel, and the navel's the second chakra would be orange. And blue is actually for the throat chakra. So that's kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
the two are connected, the navel and the throat, right?
Yeah.
And so she talked a little bit about this 3-1-3-eye atlas, and she said that what she got when she looked at it is it's going to trigger people in a way that's actually healing, which means it's going to help release inflammation in the body. And the reason
Oh.
she thinks it's going to do, and this is great, I think that's already happening for me, because people are going to start to make better choices, because it's like this blue light is the truth thing, you know. And one of the techniques she says to do is like when you take a shower, visualize blue light. And blue light is actually, you know, like the water streaming down with this like royal blue color, like this color in this bag here. This is the synchronistic. I mean, this is a bad example, that this is like a whatever, but blue,
Yeah.
this kind of like bluish hue.
Yeah.
And which is also to do with the blue flame, you know, the healing of the, like the blue flame body and all this stuff, and the blue ray. So she brought up this whole, go ahead.
Matthew's in the audience. His Patreon group's called the Blue Flame Collective, you know.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah. So
yeah.
she's saying something about that this could help with healing inflammation. So it's not anything to be afraid of. You know, these scientists really don't know what's going on. That's what she got. And I just thought that was interesting. But when I decoded it, I also got that, okay, it's 3-eye or 3-1, right? Which is the third eye, right? So your third eye, and the 3-1 is M31. So I get it on some level, it's connected to Andromeda, because Andromeda is M31. I had a friend say they thought it was Lyran. Some people say it's Anunnaki. Maybe it's all these things. And the Atlas bone is C1, your cervical. So C1 is your yes, and C2 is the second bone, which is no. So C1 makes your head go forward and back. C2 makes your head go side to side. Okay. The other thing it connects in with is the Atlas Mountains, which is Africa, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. And, you know, Indy went to Algeria. It
Yeah, I remember that.
separates the Mediterranean from the Atlantic, and the highest point is in Morocco, the Jebel Toubkal at 4,167 meters, which I can't translate meters into feet right now, but that's pretty high. So there is something to pay attention to, and there are codes coming in. So I definitely just wanted to give those things before we get into the dreams. On Thursday, I went for acupuncture, and it was a very interesting, very specific, working on like the liver, which in acupuncture they say the liver is the mother of all, or the kidney, and something about the kidney and the liver chi. Okay, and that my pulses had changed. If you know anything about your pulses, they do this, and they push all different ways, and they'll say your pulse is slippery, or it's it's in the shoe and the sun and the this or that. You could ask Grok or Chat GPT what all this stuff with the pulses mean, but for me, a lot of it did mean things like inflammation and having excess heat and being yin deficient. Okay, but they were starting to change, and I think what happened is that opened me up, and we had the most beautiful sunset when I arrived here. I mean, the colors were like red and pink and spectacular. And I feel the auroras now. When the aurora borealis comes in, I actually feel it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. And I said, even though Google says it's not gonna be, I'm gonna go out and take some pictures. And I got some pictures, and it was a purple sky. I don't know if you saw. I think I sent you the pictures. It was a purple sky, and we were gonna sit around and play music because my friend has lots of guitars here. We play guitars and see it. I don't know if you can see all these.
I'm looking up. I'm looking for pictures, so I can show people. Yeah, like let me see if I can zoom in on them. So this was one of the pictures of the sky, guys. It was totally purple. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we were going to play music. I think he played one song. I didn't really play anything, and everybody got exhausted, completely exhausted. This was like around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I mean, he works hard, but still, we normally would hang out till 10 o'clock, but we were just, everybody just all of a sudden, and I'm saying, I think it's from the eclipse energies coming in and the aurora borealis, and my dreams were super weird. I mean, I dream, but I don't dream all the time, because lately I think I'm healing my body and I get black hole sleep. But these dreams were, I was like, it was lucid. So I was asleep and awake at the same time, because I was aware that I was sleeping in the bed in some of the dreams. And then it's like every dream I would have, I would go to the, like, get up to go to the bathroom, and then I'd go back into a dream. But the first one, before I had some of the others, I mean, and I don't remember what time this was, maybe around 4 or so in the morning. I can't remember exactly, but I actually felt something come in and carry me that was more like, if you remember in Harry Potter, something like the Dementors. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
Something
talking.
like that, like more, it didn't look like this. It was more like a ghoul type
Like
of
an
thing,
entity, yeah, like just like an entity, I guess, like an
like
astral entity.
that picked me up and was carrying me in. It wasn't in the room that I was in. I'm not exactly sure where I was. It was a combination of this house, the house from when I was a kid, because the windows were in a different space, and it was like carrying me like a baby, flying, going through the window. And it was like, it was holding on to me like tight, and I'm like, no, no, no. And I had to say it a bunch of times. I mean, I was afraid for my life, and I woke up like panting and sweating, like scared to death. And then what happened is I said no a bunch of times. I had to say it many times. No, I don't accept this. No, 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 no. The whole thing disintegrated, and so did I. And I became like pure consciousness in this white mist. It was like a white light that looked like an artificial light to me. And I said, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I woke up, and I was afraid. And I had been talking a lot about soul things. Everybody was talking about the soul this, the soul that, the soul this. I almost felt like it was like a soul eater, like something that wanted to steal my soul.
Yeah, that can happen. I really think that can happen. Really, and I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Wow, like that's. I mean, like, were you sweating when you woke up? Because usually that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get those too. It's bizarre, right? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's the astral's crazy, right? It's like there's a lot going on there.
So it was making me feel that, like I've had these dreams before, and it was making me remember my lab dreams where I would be in tunnels under the ground, and I would be watching experiments. Like my energy, my consciousness would be trapped. I don't know if it was happening to me or I'm just witnessing it, and they're harvesting my loose energy just watching the experiments, like people being strapped down on a table.
Wow. Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
you know what? Song's been up on my head because I played the guitar. Soundgarden, blow up the outside, blow up the outside world. And if you look at that video, it shows all the mind control experiments. I mean, go back and watch. Maybe I need to post that video. It's crazy that they show like he's being strapped down with his head, and it's showing like mother and father, and it's showing country, and then it's showing like Hitler and all this kind of MK Ultra stuff. But I was because of this dream. I don't remember how many times I've talked to you about things like this on the show with like the my lab type of things. Like there's been many times I've been it hasn't happened lately, but it was happening a lot around 2010, 11, 2012, 2013, things like that, where I was actually starting to really see this programming, and how and Indy talked about, I think with you, how the dreams are manipulated. I've known that for a long time, like in that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called what was it called?
The island. The island.
No. God, see when I want to remember Leonardo DiCaprio. Let me just look that up because it is important. Movies. Inception, which came out in 2010. Inception was about how they used the mind to create worlds. We may have talked about this before, and how he would go into these worlds and they would manipulate people to make decisions in this dream state. So let me tell you the next dream. When I went back to sleep, and we're going to pull some of these cards that I gave my friend, mermaid cards, because this dream starts off as a flying dream, and I'm a pretty skilled flyer. I like to dance in the air and fly. So when I fly, I look like a ballet dancer that spins around and goes through walls and goes through ceilings and goes high. I mean, I could get a lot of speed and go through a lot of things. And I ended up what looks like on the coast of California somewhere. By the way, it was rocky, the way the water looked, or maybe not California, but somewhere in the Pacific. But that sort of looks like Northern California. and I see this land bridge. And what's weird is I'm walking. So somehow when I fly, I just land on my feet and I'm walking and I'm seeing toothpaste on the ground, like a tube of toothpaste, like Colgate. And I'm seeing Crest. And in my mind, I'm saying, why this kind of toothpaste? Why not something like, even Tom's that doesn't have fluoride, or Oramir is something I use, or Jason, some of these other ones. And then there's another one that's got, coconut and charcoal. I can't remember the name, but I'm like,
I use one that's like a peribiotic, and mine has that hypoxyapatite in it, but it also has silver. I found
all kinds of things like that. And then I start seeing those because it's like I'm calling it in. I don't want to see bad toothpaste. I want to see good toothpaste.
That's hilarious.
Right. Yeah. And then I'm seeing like shaving cream and cologne and on this land bridge, and like shampoo and conditioner and all these things for like your teeth and your face and your hair, and even a blow dryer. I'm thinking, what the hell? And then I end up in the water and I've got this material on my legs and I'm trying to make it work. It's like material that's turning into fins, and I can't get it to work right. I'm trying to swim, and I'm noticing that I swim like when I try to be a mermaid here in a pool, and I'm not doing it very well. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And somebody was trying to show me, you're doing it wrong, because I can fly really good, but I couldn't do that. I'm like, why all this crap? And I was aware that I'm dreaming. I mean, I know Carlos Castaneda talks about a lot of times about looking at your hands or your feet in your dream, and you'll know that you were dreaming. The funny thing is, I was listening to Crystal Bowles, and I was aware that I could hear the bowls that was playing on my phone. I was hearing it. And I think you had a guest that recently that I was on that said they start dreaming before they even fall asleep. So that's where I was. I was really in that liminal space between waking and sleeping, because that, like, the one dream going to the other. I mean, there was one dream that my father was flying around like in Harry Potter with this car upside down, because he used to fly planes. It's kind of a weird thing. And it took the roof off and in this big house. And then I end up in this other dream where these people I know, one I know here, the other two I knew really well. And they look like they're 15 years old. And I'm asking them how old they are. And they can't tell me. They don't know if they're 15, 30, or 200 years old, because there was no time or any of that. And I kept saying, I have to take this information back, and I need to figure out how to get back here again once I go back to where I'm from. It was so weird. And I've had a few dreams where I actually have dreams where I remember things. Like there was this one that I remember of a friend that I'm not friends with anymore because of the whole this thing, and the narrative that went along with, and some people just went for that. And then, she had a party and she wanted me to get, that. And I'm like, but she was in this dream because she loved my cat. She absolutely loved my cat. And the weird thing is, she looked like an Amish person, the way she was dressed, but her head spun around like the jester. And then this other friend of mine that I was supposed to see today, but she wasn't feeling good, and I went to the Biltmore Estate instead. I went back there to take a nice walk. She ends up being a spy in the dream, and she's pretending to get married to the guy that she was with, who she's no longer with, like a fake wedding. And then all this, and there was like drag queens and all these weird people. It looked like something out of Eyes Wide Shut, or some show, some kind of weird thing like that. I end up in these places sometimes where there's like these parties and I end up working. I think I talked about this before, like with the whole Obama thing where I would be in catering, like I'm working. And I actually did one time in the Flagler Museum where I had to dress up as little Jack Horner and you know, in the theater department, and Jimmy Buffett was playing there. And I actually met Jimmy Buffett, but just all this weird stuff. And then, you know, in this dream, and I remember it so vividly because it was like being there. It's almost like being on a movie set. And this was in Europe somewhere, because this place I've been to a few times. It's like on high cliffs, and it's a white box house. Like it's in like Norway or somewhere, you know, way north, where you have bridges and you drive, and it's so dangerous that the water from the ocean would knock a car off where it is. I think you've seen pictures like that, but it's like glass windows in a place like this that are probably like this thick, because the waves would crash against this house. So it's like this structure, it's into the rocks, and it's built in a way that it's like right in the rocks on the side of a cliff with all this water hitting. I'm like, oh my God, this is scary. But in this dream with this friend, it's like all of a sudden the one person that I told you that was the friend that isn't, she's actually Russian, and then she went to England or the UK and then came to North Carolina, or I think she might have gone other places, but anyway, she was like on one side and I was more like a neutral party, but the other side, the other friend, it's like they all of a sudden got their guns out, like, okay, like, and I'm talking the, you know, like the ARs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. It's like, what the hell?
What do you think this all means? Like, what do you?
Dreams are not what you think.
Yeah. Well, I think they're portals to other realities. You know,
I do
really
too.
do.
I do too. Some dreams are psychological. Some dreams are, you wonder if those 3-letter agencies actually create the landscape, like in Ascension, and they're watching and can access you. Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point.
and they have the ability. And this segues into the next thing I want to talk about, which this thing has been going around. I'm not going to say any names, but people we know are kind of upset about something that went around. Some lady, I can't remember her name. I can send it to you privately. But this came up on Facebook. Somebody I know posted this. The key words for pseudo-spiritual AI is flame, sovereign, mimic, or mimicry. True Christic teachings don't use those words as much as AI photos, and they'll have a goldish hue with symbols and such. This one woman was complaining about all these people, some who we know, some who've been on your show, about these people, and that they're, you know, distorted, or they're this or that, and very disrespectful. I don't even know who this person is that wrote it, but I began to think about, after they take some truth, some things that really are true, they twist it, you know, they put a few things, keywords into either ChatGPT or Grok or something, and then it writes this, and then it's like this whole mimicry thing, you know, and then it just, I don't know, it's very dangerous. So it's like, you know, there are ascension teachings, so it'll talk about true ascension, it'll talk about false ascension, but and it'll take the terminology and it'll twist it. So you know, I it's hard to even explain. People are going to have to become more discerning when they look at stuff. I mean, a lot of us use AI as a tool, but we definitely, absolutely must direct AI. We can't let it run amok and start just writing for us, you know? And so it made me think that maybe this isn't even a real person. Maybe the whole thing is AI. It's like an AI troll infection. Now, in the Christic community, the KS and all that, ES, they've been fighting amongst themselves, but at least they're agreeing. They're seeing, they might not agree, but they're agreeing that there's a lot of AI being used, that this is not cool. What's going on with this? And then it brought up another conversation I was having to do with, and I thought of holographic Jesus because of communion. The whole thing, when people take communion, you know what that is, right?
Yeah. It's one like how you can take it in the Catholic Church. But what's interesting about that? It's interesting that Whitley Strieber titled his first book Communion. You know what I
was
mean?
going to say that too. It all goes back to this again.
Yeah.
Okay, so
exactly.
What is communion? What is the communion? Communion is ultimately a reenactment of like a human sacrifice, eating the blood. The wine or the grape juice represents the blood of Christ, and the host, which is the bread, represents the body of Christ. In a way of that you're eating it, there's different ways to look at this. Okay, there's definitely different ways to look at the whole thing, right? Because it originally comes from a pagan ritual, and the reason I bring this up is because we are coming in to the harvest time. We're in the seasonal depiction of Virgo now, out of Leo, and this, if according to Hellenistic astrology, and this is the time of Rosh Hashanah, which is the first fruits, the new year. That's in the Jewish tradition. We're going to have Mabon, I think it's called Mabon, which is the not the solstice, the autumn equinox. Okay. So, and actually, I think Thanksgiving, a lot of what we celebrate for Thanksgiving actually came from the autumn equinox. Oh, somebody said the northern lights should be visible in your area in a day or two. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see them. I'm gonna go out and look at them. I'm gonna try to get some footage. Maybe I'll do a live stream from outside, if I can.
That'd be great if you get the lighting right. So
yeah.
In the pagan tradition, it was like the cakes and wine, which is, community from the earth. And there's always going to be a level of sacrifice, right? When you go to a job, you're sacrificing your energy to make money for a paycheck or whatever. Or like right now, you're sacrificing your time, if you will, to do this and to bring this information out. A seed even sacrifices itself, because in a way a seed has to die to bring life to new plants. So there's always a level of something. But the thing is in the Bible, Bible in the Bible, the whole thing with the Catholic Church is they're taking that old reenactment of the pagan cakes and wine and mixing it with this whole human sacrifice element of an impaled being on a cross. And people, in their unawareness, even if they think, oh, I can do this and I can just think it's cakes and wine because this way I'm popular. I'm in the group energy, and I don't really believe in this nonsense, but I'll do it anyway because I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. The problem is, if the people are unaware and they're partaking of it anyway, somebody's aware that's created the holographic template, the tulpa or the egregore of the holographic Jesus on the cross, and we're feeding that, and we're all impaled because we're all the Christ. So you know what? We're eating ourselves. We're cannibalistic of our own self.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Isn't that? I mean, I'm not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers or piss anybody off, but energetically, this is what's going on. I'm not even saying the priest or the minister or whatever even realizes that. They think, oh, it's the body and the blood of Christ. Now, yeah, the body. You can also look at the body and the blood is that we are all part of the Christ light body, and we all have the same blood running through us. Or I don't think we all have the same blood, but I'm saying if you're, and not to get into pure blood and muggles and all that stuff like in Harry Potter, but the blood types, A, B, whether it's negative, RH negative, O, the blood, some of the blood types are different. And, the Nephilim blood, the fallen angel blood, all that kind of stuff, so it makes you think of all that. But if you participate in that, you are creating that hologram. So you're better to, if you're around those people, to sit out and not do it because they're not aware of what they're doing. And when I thought of that, I thought of Whitley Strieber's communion. So communion with what and with who? Who's the one that decided there needed to be a blood sacrifice? Remember, the original blood sacrifice in the Bible was Cain and Abel, right? It was Abel sacrificed animals, and then Cain was a farmer and killed his brother. And then it was with Abraham and Isaac, and the angels said, "Don't kill your son," because this was like a normal thing. And I think there was more of this sacrifice and they took it out of the Bible. I mean, I was shown when I decoded why was Moses upset about them dancing around the golden calf of Moloch, because they were sacrificing their babies to that, not just dancing. It was much worse than dancing. So, as we come into Samhain, we're going to do a show around that time. I mean, it's one of my favorite holidays, even if it's dark, because every holiday is dark. It's just that Halloween, that it's dark. But
Yeah.
keep your black cats inside. If you have black cats, protect them, because there's people that have it in for black cats. I mean, it's sick, So
really, is that a thing? Like for real?
Oh yeah, I've heard it's still a thing. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna. I just realized I'm gonna have a Halloween party type deal again this year.
Online, cool.
Yeah, online again. Yeah, and it'll be free for everybody. Free to watch and free to join. I can. I'll see if a bunch of people show up. I think it'll be fun. People can dress up and, it'll be a whole thing. Like usual.
Yeah.
Like some years, a lot of different people showed up. So I like doing it. I'm gonna work on the flyer here coming up in the next few days. I got to pick a day and figure it all out. But I mean, it should be. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? I want to get some of these other tools out that my friend, she has a skull that's it's a rattle. So I thought, for a clearing, we'll do this, clear all that. Clear it, relax, breathe in the light, breathe out some love to the planet, relax your neck, and just like let all that go, because I know it's kind of yuck, right? And then here's, look at this little.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah. So does anybody have anything to say about that? I mean, just like yuck, huh? A bunch of
that
yuck.
is a cool mirror behind you. What is that thing behind you? Is that like a mirror, or what? That's like it looks like an antique mirror.
I don't think it is, but you know the thing about the mirrors, right? What is it? Raymond Moody had that mirror, I think Joshua got that mirror too, that he used for people staring at it for, like near death experiences and stuff. And this is my guitar is what is in here. So you're looking at this, and this is my Fender that I like the color here. So you saw that, this is See?
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe sometime I'll play. Not today, but I don't know how it would sound. It may not sound great. Yeah, let's do some fun things. So I got some of her crystal skulls out because they're different than mine. So I just wanted to show these guys. And this one, I think these are in the Jasper family. I know this is. So I got
Wow,
these guys out. And then I gave her this, you know, in Boulder City, Nevada. One of my favorite things is this. So if anybody has a question, I'm going to push the button of this.
oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. It's a mini Zoltar.
Keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool, than to open it and remove all doubt. And also, my friend, it is wise to be taking good advice when you hear it, no?
That is hilarious. I love that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Man, that is great. That's awesome. Like, how'd you get that little thing?
I ordered that. I have one, and I ordered one for her as a present. So, yeah. I just thought it was fun. I'm just obsessed with Zoltar. I'd like to own one. I mean, I'd love to put a Zoltar somewhere because, you know, I saw how much money it could make when I was in Arkansas. It was busy all the time. It was just like everybody was at the Zoltar machine. It was great.
Wow. Yeah, I have a new business plan. I want to open up a little like a conspiracy cafe around Pittsburgh here, or maybe North Carolina. I'd like to move to the beach and open up like a coffee shop, but like have it like conspiracy based where people can come in and like, you know, I don't know. Like I got to throw some ideas around, but I want to open up a physical business too. I do. You know, I'd really like to do that.
Sounds neat.
Yeah, because when I grew up in Pittsburgh, there was this place that we used to go to in the 90s. It was called the Beehive. You know what I mean? And it was like one of the first coffee shops in Pittsburgh from like in 95 to 98 before Starbucks got big. And people could just go there and you could talk about anything. And like, that was kind of like the vibe. You know what I mean? And it was just like a cool place to hang out, you know, and like you could even do something where you have like movie premieres. That's what they used to do there. They used to have all kinds of stuff. So like, I'd love to do something like that, you know, like, I don't know, like, and that costs a lot of money, but I mean, you know, I mean, I'm sure I can, you know, I don't know. I want to do something. Yeah. You know, like physically, you know, because I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to be
That
behind
sounds
this.
cool. That
Yeah.
sounds cool. They also have cat cafes. You know about that, right? There's places
No,
that
what's that?
like where you can go and get coffee or have, you know, it's usually coffee, but sometimes it's beer and wine too, and you know, maybe like a bowl of soup or some bread or a muffin or dessert, and cats come in. You know, they can, like kittens, and they adopt them out, cats, kittens, and people sit there and they have therapy, cat therapy.
That is so cool. I dropped my phone. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I know Charleston has one somewhere, and I think there's other places that have them too. But does anybody what's going on in the comments? Has anybody said anything?
Well, Azek wants to know: are you ever going back to Arkansas? Do you think you're India will ever go back to Arkansas?
No, I don't see it for right now. No, not this year. I mean, the next trip I was talking about, you know, was maybe Vegas. Well, the next trip actually is South Carolina. I got to go back to South Carolina in a few days. So when you said something about if we do 9/11, I'll be down there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, let me write that on my calendar now. Do you want to do 9/11?
Yeah, because I'll talk about when I was a truck driver, and one of the things we can talk about is and make it a group discussion. Where were you during 9/11? Do you remember where you were?
That's like, great. I think that's
and I can talk about dreams with that too, because I had dreams about helping people move on, but we'll talk about that another time. I've got these mermaid cards here, and I want to pull some mermaid cards. And then there's another, because we were talking about Halloween. This is sort of dark, but my friend is a Tim Burton fan. They went to the Tim Burton thing when it was out in Las Vegas. So I got her these cards. These are kind of dark, that's, from the movie. This is Halloween, Halloween. Oh! So,
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. So do you want to do a couple readings then, I guess, or?
yeah, I want to pull some cards. I want to clear the air, but I want to see what people are saying in the chat to do with like holographic Jesus and tulpas. Oh, did I ever tell the tulpa story to do with Elvis when I went to Graceland? Did I ever talk about that when I was a truck driver? I went to Graceland. I'm going to Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Remember the song?
Yeah, I remember that.
Song. I went to Graceland, where Elvis's home was, and we felt Elvis's spirit, but I don't feel. I almost felt it was so strong that it wasn't even him. It was a tulpa because people want to feel him, and that's what happens is. You can already have like a tulpa or egregore, and then people add to it with their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And
it builds. It can build like an egregore. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. We have a question from the audience. This is from Azek. Azek wants to know what you think about the blood moon eclipse September 7th. Ryushin thinks there's going to be an alien invasion that day.
I don't think there's going to be an alien invasion, but what I think they're gearing up to is faking some. See, the thing is with this comet, and all this AI stuff that's going on, and like the reason I brought up holographic Jesus, communion, this dream that I had, I am more concerned about at some point a Project Bluebeam event.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
not an actual event, but that, and then when I was taking a walk at Fletcher Park a couple days ago, I actually heard some high-pitched ringing and something going on in the sky that was high up, and I was thinking, are they doing hypersonics? Are they doing something? And then I heard the planes, more commercial, but there could have been a military craft too, but it was behind the clouds. I don't know. I'm close to the airport here. In Fletcher, we're really close to the Asheville airport, and at times there has been some training here. Not too much anymore, but there used to be. I mean, when I used to live in this house, the black helicopters used to fly over this house. So I feel something's going to happen. The window between the 7th and the solstice, between the full moon and the new moon, because I think the new moon coincides kind of with the equinox, which I think is on a Sunday. I think it's is it the 22nd or the 21st? I don't know the exact day, but yeah, the 7th, between the 7th and the other eclipse, these two eclipses is important because they say this energy is not coming back for so many years. I can't remember how many, but yeah, and if it's a blood moon too, yeah, something about, like I said, the blood, the communion, all this stuff. Yeah, it's something to really pay attention. Now, some people say it's also a good time to manifest, or I would say it's even maybe a better time to look at what you want to unmanifest before you manifest something. Like if it's health conditions and it relates to the Atlas comet, and it does help, to focus on getting rid of inflammation. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Because that one woman was saying, again, I told you her name was, people want to listen to her. I mean, she's in a way, she blends the 3D with the spiritual, like the physical symptoms with the spiritual. Her name's Nancy Rebecca. It was just kind of interesting what she said. And if people can start to feel younger and move better because they don't have inflammation, because there's a lot of people that I know that have it. And she even said things like, if you're a sugarholic or whatever, you may not want to eat sugar anymore. Sugar will naturally fall away. So
Yeah, that would
Hi,
be.
Azek.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Um,
picture. Okay, so we're
you
just
just
gonna
one
let's
thing.
do.
Oh yeah, I just want to put this comment. Michelle Petra says some remote viewers saw some kind of attack happening in a big city, possibly Albuquerque. It's what some of them thought. And
I don't know, but what was on my mind the other day was Taos, New Mexico, because of the hum, because they were hearing a hum. I think it was in Texas, and I was hearing a hum, and I was wondering if that ley line was connected. I think we talked about that last week, but that now all these days run together, so I can't remember what I talked about where. Rob, where do you want the card from first?
I'll do middle. I always do middle.
That's what I was getting. So for you, blessings. Let's everybody just count our blessings, be grateful. Sometimes you get upset and you you forget to be grateful. Let's make America grateful again. Make America great again. Make America grateful, like the Grateful Dead. There was a shirt
Yeah.
wearing one time when I listened to some music that said "Make America Grateful Again." Does anybody have a question? And see, we got the
Chief Mustache wants to know. He says, "Do you ever have dreams with training in them, like my lab training?" I think that's what he means. Like, do you have any like my lab or anything like that?
Like I said, I've mostly been a witness, but I've been trained to fly.
Yeah.
And I mean fly craft in my dreams. I mean, I woke up one time years ago where I was flying fighter jets and things like that. I would never do that as this person ever. It would make me sick to go at high speeds and stuff like that. And I have some kind of memory. Lucy, hey, shh. I have some kind of memory of craft where your craft knows you by your DNA, which means you get in it and you touch it, and that's how you fly it. Your body becomes with it like a manta ray, like you are in this craft and you move to like this and it turns by being in it.
Whoa.
Does that make sense? So
yeah.
As much as I have water in my chart, in my dreams, it's all about air and flying.
Yeah.
And I don't like flying. I don't like flying or roller coasters or anything with speed, really, because my nervous system is very sensitive. But in dreams, that's what I do. And I remember years ago, before I woke up to this stuff, one guy said he came to the house. He called himself Captain K, but not the Captain K that Laura and other people, I don't know, Captain something, but he's like saying he remembers his spaceship is here and all that. He said I was his like commander, like I was, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And somebody said they knew me from the Mars program when I went to go see Mary Joyce, Skyships Over Cashiers.
Well, you met Mary Joyce? You went to see her in person?
Oh, yeah.
I love Mary. Mary comes on my show all the time. How was that?
It was a great talk, but there was this one gal there. I'm not going to say her name because she's kind of strange. She said, I know you from Mars. And I'm like, really? I don't remember. Like, you were in the Mars program. I'm like, I was. I would like the memories of it, And then, who else I met that was part of that was the one that did the alien love bite. What Eve Lorgan was at that.
Eve Lorgan, yeah.
She lived in North Carolina for a while.
That's so cool. You met Evie too?
Yeah, I went out to lunch with her once. I don't know where she lives. I mean, we tried to get together other times and it just didn't happen. So, but one time we went to a place called the Flat Rock Bakery, which is in Flat Rock, and they have really good pizza and things like that.
Wow, yeah.
Sometimes when people are into this stuff, they don't allow you to get together. You try to get together, and there's always things that come up to keep you separated where you can't get together. derail you, and don't let it happen. Because if you get together with your kin, your spiritual folk, you're going to start having your memories come back. So they'll do anything to keep you so you can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get a hold of Eve, for a show. I haven't talked to her in a while, so that's a good idea. Yeah, man. Does anybody want a reading while we're going through this, or does anybody want to pick a card? Let me see here. We'll see what anybody wants the card.
Let's pull another one. The mystery here. We got a lot of mysteries to solve. It's just starting that dream. I'm telling you, Rob, these dreams. I mean, when you are like between waking and sleeping, and I don't do it every night, thank God, because what happens is if I do, then I don't get any good sleep, and then I can't function the next day. Oh, Joyful Jennifer
said she'd love a card.
I'm also going to move to the other deck too. Feelings. Pay attention to your feelings. You're not just mental. What's been coming to me lately is align heart and mind together in the same space. Not just lead with your heart or lead with your mind, but in alignment, vertical alignment, like aligning all the chakras and even up higher, like the soul star and beyond.
It's amazing.
There's some snoring going on here. Chester is snoring. Oh my God. Okay, so feelings, and see what else for her. We're going to this deck right now, which is this. The purple. Pretty purple.
And then the spider bite card too.
The 7 of Candles, and I'm going to see what it actually, just for fun, we're going to read it because I'm just not that familiar with this deck. It would just be, just kind of fun to see what it says here. You might soon be entering into a competition. If someone is trying to get between you and your goals, hold your ground. This isn't a time to acquiesce and let your guard down. Know what you want, work hard to get it. It's an interesting take on it. So how do you feel about a certain situation? I don't know what that means, but
so many people.
Maybe I need a question with these. I think I need a question. If somebody has more of a
Okay, yeah, we'll do the next person. Well, the next person is Spider Bite, and she said she'd love one, and we'll just ask Spider Bite, what's your question? I'll have to open this up on my phone too, so I can see what they're saying. So
Spider Bite. Wow,
she's from Australia.
Okay, interesting.
Spider Bite, do you have a question?
If not, we'll just see where.
She says, how's her future look?
Okay, let's do mermaids too. Snoring dogs.
Is your dog sitting, right? You said?
Yeah, these dogs are snoring. Give gratitude, like all these other cards. Give gratitude before your future happens. This is a good one for me, for all of us. So pay attention to your intentions and give gratitude. And let's see what it just says in this one, because this is also another candles, and I don't know what it's saying here. So okay, candles, this one represents celebration. People are recognizing your accomplishments. You're feeling stable, secure, and comfortable. Be proud of yourself and enjoy the attention, but remember there is still work to be done when the party's over. So is she creating something? Are you working on a project?
I'm not sure. Are you working on a project, Spidey?
Or are you supposed to be working on a project? Something to do with your gifts is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing something about your gifts. Give gratitude for your gifts.
Well, I love that. She says,
Acceptance
just
of
myself.
your
She
gifts.
said she might be moving, maybe. She said yeah, sorry about that. She said she might be moving, maybe.
Is she happy about the move or not?
See, this is why I gotta take calls. I gotta learn how to take calls, like, because like we could be taking calls and like, you know,
east of the Rockies.
that's what it's gonna be. I'm telling you. I swear to God, that's what it's gonna be. You know, I'm gonna be doing it. Sure.
The wild card line, right?
Yeah, we got so many people who requested readings. This next one's Azik, and you know Azik. You met Azik in person, by the way.
Yes, I did.
He said he'd like a reading. Yeah, what's your question, Azik? Yeah, guys, I'm going to be taking calls. Thank you, Jennifer, for saying that. Jennifer said, Rob, you will be taking calls. I'm already signed up for Call-In Studio. All I got to do is dedicate some time to figuring out how to do it. I just haven't, I've been really busy in this month. I've been sometimes doing 3. Today I did 4 shows today. I have no time to even catch up on posting my audio episodes or anything. So, you know, like, yeah. So, yeah. Azik sent a PayPal. Thanks, Azik. That was cool of you to donate.
Thank you, Azik. Okay, now this is interesting. This one has an orb, the future, and I'm actually seeing that as like the soul. Okay, this is called the future, and I'm seeing that this as like projecting into the future before you're in the present. While you're in the present, project yourself into the future, see what you want in the future, and bring it into the now, if that makes any sense.
He also wanted to ask you. He said, what is the power of September showing me? He wants to know what he should be looking for. That's what I'm getting. September.
The power of September is looking into the future because some people say this is the time to manifest what you want, what you've been wanting to manifest for a long time. You can do it, but I say, not what other people say, because I'm a realist, not just a airy fairy. Oh, okay. You have to unmanifest what you don't want. So you have to get clear on all the things you don't want and not repeat those cycles anymore. And when you do that, that's when you can manifest and bring in what you truly should have and desire that will make you happy. Does that make sense? I'm sure it makes sense to you, Rob, right? Something's
I just wanted to give someone a tip. Like, so someone wants to donate out there and you don't put their card online. Like, if you don't trust like PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, I have a Buy Me a Coffee site, and I'm just saying, Buy Me a Coffee is really safe. They're really on the up and up. You know, it's buymeacoffee.com/typical-skeptic. And, you know, I've never had anybody complain about Buy Me a Coffee. Like, you know, they seem pretty legit, you know.
That's the one I donate to you because I don't want to use PayPal because we know who PayPal is. I mean, I just don't want to use
exactly. Exactly.
And Venmo is actually owned by the same people. So the other one that's pretty good is Zelle, but I don't know if you have that because Zelle.
I have Zelle. Yeah, I have Zelle.
Yeah, Zelle. I like. Yeah.
I just give people my phone number or my email for Zelle, and it works. You know, it's good. We have a couple more people who want readings. We have Angela and Kurt, and because Kurt never gets a reading because he said So we'll do Angela and Kurt, and then maybe we'll call. Yeah, this is Angela Cullum, and Angela's been watching a lot lately. I've noticed her in a lot of shows. Thank you, Angela, for watching
Where's she
so much.
from?
Where are you from, Angela? And what's your question? She says,
this one says something about magic. It's interesting. Both of these, Azek's card has this orb thing, and so does this, which I'm connecting to the soul, and it's also reminding me of another Harry Potter movie. But the magic card, so magic is manifestation. It's the, science is like how you would physically do the steps to manifest what you want to manifest, but there's something about magic with her. I don't have a question.
She said I'm in Oklahoma. She said I'm sorry. She said she's in Oklahoma. She said currently question, what is the card you pull for this eclipse? She said.
For this eclipse, okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same message. It's about manifesting. What do you want to manifest and what do you want to unmanifest? And I get the Empress, and the Empress is about really being in your feminine. In this other deck, in this silly one here, the Empress is really about being in your feminine power. It's a major arcana, but just for fun, I'm going to read it in this deck. The Empress is the maternal, nurturing figure who enjoys self-indulgence and life's creature comforts. Our Empress, who is often seen as leading her child on a leash. Okay, in this deck. Okay, this is a call for compassion. Being patient and kind with yourself and others will get you further than any other approach. Now's a great time to nurture and indulge your creative impulses. Staying grateful will help you keep a positive, healthy outlook. And that's like all the same cards I picked. It's a group reading for everybody. So all the cards I picked are pertaining to everybody. This is like a group field, and we're working on a group clearing and manifestation is what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. I love that.
You can also use like the rattle or drumming to like journey to get your mind in a space where you getting the hemispheres of your brain aligned and relaxed before you go into a meditation. And toning is also good. Toning, Ho'oponopono is good for forgiveness. Om is good for, it's a seed sound just for like, just to radiate that through your body.
Yeah, can we do one more? This one's card. The reason why I say is he never gets a reading. So he says, I'd love a reading card, Rob. No one else wants one. He says, I don't want everyone else to go ahead if there's time. So this one's for you, Kurt.
Where's Kurt from?
Where are you from, Kurt? And what's your question? I don't know if he's in the chat. I hope he's in the chat. I don't know if he's in the chat.
Recognition. Do you want to be recognized for some achievement? That's what this card is. I mean, that's what I wonder. I'm going to pull another one because I'm not necessarily getting. I mean, we all have this feeling that we want to leave some legacy and leave our mark of what it is that we're here to do, because it's not good to, come here and feel like you didn't accomplish your mission, right? Like it's a mission failure. You've been waiting for something to happen. Waiting.
Azek said something funny. Azek said "Saved by the Bell" for the bell thing that you rang. Sorry, go ahead.
Stay hopeful. Don't give up. Stay hopeful, even if you're in waiting, because there's a time for everything, right? A time to wait, a time to move forward. Somebody posted, there was some song about that. There's what was that? A time for every purpose under heaven, right? Just, yeah. And there's cycles according to your astrology and different things, your houses, whether things move for you. But like I said, with this comet thing and with these eclipses, if we set our intention, do the inner work, hopefully things will get moving in a direction where we can do it. Four of Presents. That's kind of a manifestation card. A four is like four walls, and the presence would be physical, which is like pentacles in this deck. Let's see what it says here. So we haven't picked anything but presents and candles, which is fire and earth, which makes sense with what we're going into in the fall.
So Kurt, you never. Kurt never answered us. It was nice of Kurt to Kurt done it. Thanks, Kurt. But he never answered where he was from and if he had a question.
Presence
I don't
represents happiness and stability at home, at work, and within your budget. You're on track, setting yourself up for success by building your plans on solid ground. Say thanks with thoughtful gifts to those who've helped you to get there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Remember where you came from.
I love that for him.
Yeah.
And
like I said, this reading is a group reading for all of us.
Yeah.
We can see what Zoltar has to say again. Let's do Zoltar. That'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Hear your fortune from Zoltar. Sometimes you can tell a wise person not only by what he says, but also by what he doesn't say. Remember, it is much better to say little than to say too much and regret it later.
He might have said that already, but I guess we have to hear it again.
Well, that was great. This is just a psychic question for you. You don't have to pull a card. Well, Michelle Petras wants to know if you feel anything off this. Do you see her making it to Indiana? Do you get anything off that?
Can she tell me where she is?
I think she's in New Mexico. I think because I've talked to her before, and she's trying to make it to Indiana, but she has like health issues,
Does she have a time frame that she has to go by?
If she says, she says, never mind. I don't know what she said that. Like, I don't know. Oh wow!
I'm not really getting anything. I don't see why she can't go, but whether she's going to go when she wants to go. I mean, it seems like a weird time with planning trips. It's almost like we have to be in the flow. Is she going to drive or is she going to fly? I mean, is she going to, you know what I mean?
Oh, she says in New Mexico. She's in New Mexico. She says yeah, she's supposed to be soon.
Okay. I don't really get anything about that. I get that maybe get through the eclipse window first, and then we'll see. That I don't see it before the eclipse window.
Yeah, maybe that's smarter to wait till after the eclipse because there might be some heavy energies leading up to the eclipse and during it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean.
One thing I looked at with the Farmer's Almanac. Okay, I've heard this. It's supposed to be warmer this year, according to the Farmer's Almanac, except for the Southeast, except for like the Carolinas, Virginia, maybe Georgia, Florida. Isn't that interesting? Tennessee.
That's where I want to move to. That's where I want to move to the Southeast. I really do.
Cold. Yeah. But yeah, this year's supposed to be colder.
Wow.
If
It's
I have to
colder
be
up
in
here now.
Mexico, though, that's fine with me because I don't like heat
Yeah.
when it's muggy. I don't like mugginess. Don't want it too cold, but I like a nice winter. Like because it never gets too cold in the southeast, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was amazing, Missy. I had so much fun.
It was
Do you
fun,
want to tell
wasn't
people
it?
how they can? I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
if you
was. I
want
had
to
a
get a hold of me,
like.
you can friend me. You can friend me on Facebook through mutual friends and Instagram and X. I got to remember to do my X account. I forget about X a lot. And you can email me, Hill, Hill, Night, Nite, Vision, Vision at gmail.com. Hillnightvision at gmail.com. And, I do readings and I do the quantum infinity and I do these different modalities. So upon request. And I also work with animals.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
here,
Yeah,
and here
and
comes
are
one.
you doing any traveling anytime soon?
Yeah, back to South
Oh,
Carolina.
oh
Ira, look at the camera. Here we go. Lucy.
that's
Yeah,
so
back to
cool.
South
That's so cool.
Carolina. So the next show, I'll be in South Carolina. And what's interesting is I thought that Charleston event was possibly supposed to happen around 9/11. I really thought that because it didn't happen when the shots were fired in April. So I thought, why not 9/11? But it's still not happening. We're still sitting on it.
Wow, man. I hope.
So,
Yeah. I hope we use. I mean, I'd like to do that Area 51 trip too. I think we should all look forward to doing that.
yeah.
I mean, that would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I would say Area 51 because you can't go to Area 51, but you can go out in the desert in Nevada and you can go to the little Alien Inn and places like that and go to Vegas and go to Boulder City, but you can't really go to Area 51. You can't. You can get close. You can go to Rachel, Nevada, but you can't go to Area 51. You just
yeah,
can't do it.
they'll arrest you. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
remote view Area 51. We could do that. We could maybe do that on the show sometime. Do like
That would be cool.
do a group
Yeah.
grid work for Area 51 and see what we do.
Yeah. Well, this was amazing, Missy. I always enjoy our shows. This was awesome. And yeah, guys, this has been all the shows today for Labor Day, and I'll be back tomorrow. I have a couple shows for the actual Labor Day tomorrow, and yeah, and we'll be seeing you guys soon. And
Yeah,
thank you, Missy.
Rob works hard. Take a break. Take a nice walk. I know you like to walk, so go get your walk in after. Okay.
That's what
I
I'm
want
gonna
to
do.
do yoga. I'm hoping to do yoga in the morning, so I got to get to bed so I can get up so I can do yoga early. Let's hope I can go to sleep. This winds me up because it's so much fun. So I'm drinking my rose tea, and hopefully that'll relax me more.
All right, guys. Good night, everyone, and